I am your host, El Mariachi Brahma, and we're joined by a crew of special people today. As always, the lovely 210 Brahmasita up in the corner there. SAJ,
The loudmouth in the house.
his partner in crime, BD. I'll let you
Let's
guys
go.
fill in the gaps as to what that could stand for. And then our very special guest of the day, Miss Brahma Babe herself. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Before we start, though, I want to make sure we do this right the way we always do. Get
I
one
got
of
you
these
too.
little ASMR. Oh,
Salud.
yeah.
Bush.
Salute, everybody. And
Salud.
now,
Ein Prost.
man, that's cold. Oh, and then I guess we got another one
What's
joining
up,
us here.
little man? What's up, buddy? It's the Brahma baby.
The Brahma baby, the future little mariachi right here. You know,
Yes.
he's gonna have the exact same suit that I wore, of course, in his
Yeah, he's
size
Bubba.
next season.
Duh.
Nice.
So
What's your name?
Mariachi Bubba.
Hi.
So
Name?
I'm Brahma Babe.
Where's our names?
they're all right there, buddy.
Yeah.
Where
So let's dive in, you know, and like we always do with our guests, Brahma Babe, we're gonna hand the mic over to the ball over to you, and we want to know where did this how did this evolution happen? How did you go from where you were in, let's say, October of last year to Brahma Babe? Like, talk to us about that.
Well, I'm kind of gonna be a weird story because I'm gonna put it out there. I am not from Texas originally.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and
Respect.
I don't actually
Yeah.
live in San Antonio. I live about
Okay.
I live I
Yes.
live about an hour and 30 minutes away. And I'm one of those people that just love football. I've grown up around sports. I played sports, grew up around football all my life. So for me, not being close to the teams that I have loyalty, I guess you could say, or fandom for, I was feeling kind of alone, being here in Texas and not really having, a sport or a team to follow. So I was familiar with the XFL from previous times that they tried. And I was like, well, this is cool. And I knew that San Antonio was getting a team, but here's the kicker, y'all. I also knew Orlando was getting the team too. And I was like, so that might give you a hint on what state I'm originally from. So I'm like,
Did they really get a team though?
I know, right?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, me too now.
Tired.
That's all I wanted.
So
So when when this came out and it was like, okay, well, the Orlando team, and then I was like, well, San Antonio, and I was like, you know what? I gotta go where I can go and where I can see these games and I can be a part of the fandom. And I was like, an hour and 30 minutes, that's not a ways to go. So I said, you know what? My fandom and my support in the XFL is going to San Antonio. And so that's kind of how I fell into it. And from the first day that we were officially awarded the team, I went on Amazon and I got I got my horns ordered, and then I went on and bought season tickets and said, you know what, I'm going to go to this and be a fan because this is I'm in Texas now and I need some fandom and I need some football to go to on a regular basis. So that's kind of how I fell into going to the games and just becoming a fan. There was really no intent to become a super fan or have a vibe. I kind of just wanted the horns and have fun and go. And that first game, my attire was a little different. It evolved. But I just went and I had so much love shown by the people of San Antonio and the fans of the Brahmas. And I learned so much about the history of, what you guys in San Antonio had gone through. And it really touched my heart being a fan. Okay, I'll just say it. In the NFL, I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar. So, being a fan of
They have those?
yeah, I hear that. Yeah. Keep watching this year. Um, so, for me, it was like, a smaller town or a smaller market, as you would say in professional sports, that had a team. We've wanted a team for so long, and I saw that in the fans and the love in San Antonio, and it was like where I needed to be. And I'm glad I did it because it was way better than the other option.
Well, we're super happy to have you here.
Well,
So
thank you.
did you feel your loyalties torn at all when we Brahmas played the Guardians?
Actually, no. I can't say because I was as I guess you could say, no pun intended, but I was horns in, baby, horns in. And by the time that when we played them, it was I was true Brahma, black and yellow, baby, black and yellow. So no.
If you say horns in, though, I feel like you have to do the thrusting thing that they make us do in the stadium. We have to.
This
Horns
is a
in.
family-friendly show. We're not. We can't. We won't do that.
They do that in the Alamo Dome.
Yeah, they do.
And they've stopped, and I appreciate the fact that they've stopped.
Maybe on your side, but 108 still pumps the horns. I'm
But
Yeah.
that's on your side.
Yeah, we
We-
do.
We've got our own problems going on in 134.
You're
Yeah.
getting,
Brian knows
you're getting
100%
told to
what I'm
stop
talking
cursing
And,
over there.
I mean, I kind of, Jay, I think, probably us two are probably the biggest problems in 134, but, that's okay. That's what we're there for.
No, we're not. We're the most consistent problems, but we were not the biggest problem. And you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's
we,
true.
We
yes.
will 100% talk about that in the after show or the Only Horn show.
Right.
However, this
The
is family
Only
friendly.
Horn.
We're going to keep it clean. But I do have to ask because I'm noticing in the chat somewhere
Right here.
somebody had mentioned something about the AFL. So us about what exactly this comment means. You were an AFL cheerleader? What team? When? How did this all come about?
And NBA.
And NBA.
So my cheering career started off when I was rather young. I started at the age of 3 in Pop Warner and cheered pretty much every year of my life until I was about 28 or so. Coached competitive cheer. So I did cheer for the arena football team that we had prior to the Sharks in Jacksonville. We were the Jacksonville Tomcats, and we were the Tomcat Kittens. In fact, I'm going to my reunion for the Kittens in a week down in Jacksonville. We get the girls
Nice.
together every year and just kind of have a good old time. And so that kind of keeps me young at heart and keeps that inner cheerleader. And NBA was with the Washington Wizards. I didn't get to spend a whole lot of time, but just for family reasons, some things were going on, so I needed to get home. But I did audition there. I never made it to the NFL. Did audition for a couple of teams there, but it just wasn't in the books. And arena football, though, I will tell you, I think that's why I connect so well with the Brahmas too, because it's just such a very fan engaging type environment. You're so close, literally in the end zones, and it's very easy to get hit in the arena football if you're in the end zones cheering. But that's why you watch the quarterback and you watch his eyes. But anyways, it was one of those things that really got me in touch with that cheerleader side, but it also is so fan oriented. And I see that with the XFL, and that's what I love about it. And that's kind of why even with Brahma Babe, I try to keep it a little sassy and fun and maybe a little sexy, but I still keep that PG because I want it to be relatable for, the kids, the grandmas, the guys, the gals, everybody. I don't want anybody to feel like it's just too much, if you know what I mean. So I do have a cheer background, so I don't know if y'all could see that come out or anything. Yeah.
Nah.
I'm real
at
shy.
all.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like when I watch you like in the section, like you have a dance for everything. I'm like, man, I wish I could be like that good at, but it's just a cheerleader and you're like, it just automatically triggers in your brain, do this dance, it goes with it. And there you go. I mean,
Yeah,
you've been on ESPN so many times just doing your dance moves and stuff. So it was fun to kind of watch you evolve, because a lot of you guys probably don't know, like her and I met, wouldn't even meet, like we connected before even the first game
Yeah.
because we bought the same type of horns,
No.
and it just kind of went from there. And
Yep. Where is it? Where is it?
this was our first sign together. We were the horned hotties.
I feel like you got to wear yours now.
Yeah.
Yeah, where
they're
were your
they're
horns?
resting pretty back here.
Okay. And
But
we probably
but
should save that comment for the after show also, the horned hotties thing.
it's because like we were literally, I think it's probably
Um,
after the first game, like
Mhm.
we were like chatting and we were like, this is when Brahma mamas were still around. We're like, we don't feel like a Brahma mama. Like
Yeah.
we're
I mean,
something else.
yeah.
And we literally came up like she told me what her name was gonna be, and that's when I was like, I think I'm gonna be a Brahma Sita. And like it just grew from there. And then I watched her kind of evolve into Brahma Babe. So it's been really cool watching it.
Well, thank you. And it's been fun. I really didn't know where the name, honestly, because I mean, you guys had such. Um, I mean, you're just so connected to the city of San Antonio, and to be honest, I prior to the games, I'd been to San Antonio twice. I went to the light show on the river, or the, oh, what do you call that thing where the boat goes?
the Riverwalk.
Riverwalk?
Yeah, the
Riverwalk.
Riverwalk. And I went to a concert, and that was it. So I didn't know a lot, and I didn't really have any type of ties. So for me, it was more about kind of taking that. Again, I go back to the inner cheerleader and that, being a little kind of sassy, fun, approachable, but yet still have that engagement and that love for football, because I definitely do. I mean, I'm all about having fun, but I'm still a fan, and I still get mad, and I still will yell, and I still will scream, but I come back every week because that's my team.
So you've only been here twice, so you've never actually been to the Alamo basement or anything.
No, no, no.
We'll have to set up a tour. DJ can be your guy.
DJ,
Exactly.
yeah, he can
Do
totally
I
help
really
you
want
out
to
there.
do this?
You
But
might find a
P.S.
bicycle in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
P.S. There's no actual basement in the Alamo.
I gotta figure that.
Okay.
Don't let the blonde hair fool you.
Well, I just didn't know if you caught on to the running joke that we've had in the show here. Every episode, somebody mentions something about it because we said it one time.
Yeah.
It's usually Robert up here.
Yeah.
Right here.
I've
The
seen
man
that.
who wants you to spill the tea wants to
Yeah.
know all about the basement.
Yeah. So
No, it's been great though. I mean, I hope to make it to more things. Unfortunately, this past season I had some other things I had going on with school and things like that, and being away, an hour and a half, it kind of puts a damper. But this season, I got goals. I got
Nice.
goals.
okay.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
let's
I was to say, speaking of your school, congratulations! I know
Oh, thank you.
you recently graduated,
Yeah.
Very nice.
so congratulations
Thank you.
on that. I know you were working your tail off all during. I remember talking to you about it during the season. You were working your tail off, trying to
Yeah.
get school and everything balanced with still coming to the Brahmas games, and
Yeah.
like it was just hats off to you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to be done. Grad school is all complete, so now I can, be a big girl, I guess you say, and then put some more time towards our Brahmas. So looking forward to that.
So I'm curious to know now that you've been to San Antonio at least 5 times, right?
Yeah, and more
On
now.
top of on top of the 2 that you had prior to the Brahmas games.
Yeah.
But in your time at the Brahmas games, interacting with the fan base, all that good stuff, digitally, in person, do you feel more connected now to the city of San Antonio and the culture and the people here than you did when you first came onto the scene? Like, where you were like, who are these people?
Absolutely, and I contribute that a lot to you guys and the fan base. I mean, everybody has been so kind, and in the outpour of love. And again, we all share that common goal of having this professional team in San Antonio, and you guys have been clawing at the bits to have it. And I always say, I being a part of that, and just kind of, I've never once felt really like an outsider coming in there. And there's just so much now that I do want to, see and do and spend more time and get more involved with the community. Even though I don't live there, but being a part of this family, I see where there's some really great things that together we can do, and positive. And so that is one thing, I'm thinking and trying to work on a few collaborations, if you will, in San Antonio. It won't be anything major. It's not going to be a whole lot, but it's just to bring a little bit of what I can maybe help do for certain aspects of San Antonio. What can I give back as someone that is here with you guys and being able to do wonderful things like this podcast or be at the game, and how can I give back to a city that is giving me so much right now and kind of embraced me. So there's so much I got to learn about San Antonio though. But I, being around you guys and talking to the fans and learning about the history and learning about, what goes on there. Fiesta was a first for me this year. Had no clue, had no idea. Will never wear boots for 3.5 miles ever again. But
Listen,
That's when I saw the real cheerleader come out.
yeah. So I, just that experiencing that, and you guys have been wonderful. I mean, y'all have been nothing but kind to me and just so supportive. So I think there's so much more for Brahma Babe to learn about San Antonio. So many more people to meet too. But I hope to be able to continue that into the next season.
Well, that's actually a perfect segue for what my question was: is what is next for Brahma Babe next season and stuff like that.
Well, I'm still in 108.
Hey.
Yeah, so I couldn't move out of that section. So you guys will see my happy little shining self in 108.
Right next to me.
Yes, I'm right next to Miss Jackie there. Woo woo, Miss Promisita. And so that I would like to try to hit 2 to 3 away games next year. That's in my goal book. So I'd really like to hit a couple of away games. So maybe we can all maybe try to work those in. There will be a reveal next season. I'm sure you guys have caught on to some of my posts during the seasons. I had so many wardrobe malfunctions last year. It was just absolutely not bad ones, all G-rated. Let's just say duct tape was my best friend last
Duct
season.
tape. I was gonna
Let's
say
go.
that. The amount of times I heard I need more duct tape.
I had to put duct tape on to the very last game. So I am in the process. I will be revealing, not before, but at the very first home game, a look of old, but a look of new. So I'm revamping the Brahma Babe attire. I've got a full new outfit that's going to be a little bit more conducive to the weather, conducive to my jumping around and being very animated, and I won't have to use duct tape. So we'll be doing a little bit more. I will say it's probably going to be a little bit more the yellow this upcoming season.
Okay.
And so we'll be revealing that. I get so excited. I will probably reveal it sooner, but I really think I'm going to wait until that first game and do that. So I think the biggest thing is just kind of getting out and about more, being able to be more involved. At the watch parties, the meet and greets, being able to if we get training camps that are in our backyard this year, being able to go to those and watch, because that's something that I missed out a little bit on last year. Really didn't get to a lot of the stuff prior to the season starting, so I wasn't as in tune to the players and knowing as much about their background, which I do enjoy doing. That's the aspect of football that I love. I don't just go to the games to look at them in their tight pants, I like.
He does.
That's why Jay goes.
I love
What I
those
tell you.
aspects, of football. So I really missed that, and I didn't feel like I had that knowledge as much going into the beginning of the season. So I hope, next season I'm able to go to some of these things that we have more, to be able to kind of get to know the players a little bit better, know the coaching staff, know the movements a little bit better, and not make it so season for that to occur, because I missed out on that, and I think that's real important as a fan. Aw.
We got some fans already.
Yep. So
Yeah, no. Or go ahead, Jay.
I was just going to say 2 things to take away from what you said. First of all, sounds like there's going to be a lot of reveals this next season. I know several
G-rated.
people.
Nope.
Yeah, G-rated, but there's going to be several costume upgrades and changes and just new things coming for the fans for next season. And then Brian, we probably need to be packing duct tape, rather.
Electrical duct tape, yep.
Yeah,
Just in case,
for certain guests that we bring with us.
Yep.
So
Oh yes, please.
Yes, and we'll talk about it in the after show.
Please do.
Yeah, no, I think so you mentioned wanting to make some of the away games. So obviously we're gonna have 3 away games that are obvious, being Houston, Dallas, or Arlington, whatever.
Yeah,
And
that too.
and Orlando.
South Oklahoma.
Arlen trash.
So and given
Arlington
the
trash.
success that we had going up to not Dallas, but I'd like to replicate that and also go into Houston next year. So hopefully
yeah.
that's something that we can work out with the ticket office, when the time comes. But the rest of the games being out of state. Now, from our understanding, the away games, and this is just for everyone who's listening, general information, don't expect the schedule to just flip flop where it's like,
Ah.
oh, well, we played DC here, so we're going to play them over there. No, it all comes down to venue availability and because you remember the Defenders also share it with DC United.
Oh yeah.
And that's just one example. So it just kind of comes down to what's available, when it's available. And so we may play some of the out of state teams here again, or we may not. I don't see very many people using the dusty old dome in St. Louis, so we may go up to St. Louis this year. So just know the schedule's being worked on and ironed out, but it may not be just a standard flip flop of the schedule as we all had assumed right when the season ended. So
Right.
kind of just keep that in mind. Also, as we wait for the schedule reveal, just know there are a lot of logistics that need to be worked out before we can, before the XFL can say, okay, this is the schedule, go. But they are committed to getting it out earlier, obviously, than last year. So
Much earlier.
yeah. So just know that they're working their hardest, and as soon as we know, obviously, it's going to be blasted all over socials, not just by us, but by I'm sure the league itself as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So-
think that'll be great.
But if there is an out of state game that you can attend, assuming just let's say that we play, whoever out of state, which is the stadium that you'd like to go to out of state?
Oh, I have 2, and for different reasons. Obviously, I do want to hit the Texas ones because that's interstate rivalry, and but I would say either the Battlehawks or the Defenders because I really want to be a part of that beer snake.
I'm with you on that.
DC, I'm all about. You don't want to go to that flea market of a dump that's St. Louis. Nothing but love, guys.
I feel like he has the same feelings about St. Louis that I have about not Dallas, Arlington, whatever.
I'm feeling that vibe.
So, in all fairness, you guys need to know the background story.
Okay.
So, when Brian and I, again, longtime friends, we went to Commanders games together. We've been to Talons games. We've done a lot of the San Antonio sports things together, right? When we found out that we were getting a team here with the XFL, we started our little group, right? And everybody was trying to figure out what they could do to contribute to help raise awareness, to get fans involved, right? To really start growing the group. That's when Brian and I looked at each other and we were kind of like, what is the one thing that we do best?
And we talk crap.
Be buttholes. So we 100% went and joined the St. Louis fans page and then immediately called them out.
Absolutely.
Within 5 minutes of being accepted, we both posted stuff and called them out and said, you guys may have been the biggest fan group in the XFL. We're the biggest fan group in the AAF. We're going to bring our numbers and we're going to be your rivals. We're going to be in your head and we're going to own you all season long. And they've talked about us every single time.
Yep.
So got to beat San Antonio.
Yes, it's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
I really don't despise them at all. And we've actually, because of that, made some really good connections with people in St. Louis who have then connected us with other people in the league. 100%.
Yep.
That happened. That truly happened. It's the biggest group in the XFL because we want to be the biggest group, right?
Mhm.
There's a
Oh,
little bit
absolutely.
of that professional jealousy there, and we wanted to make sure that we established that healthy rivalry, because at the end of the day, we're Brahmas fans, but we're all XFL fans.
Absolutely.
And we want to take that energy, and we want to make sure that we're using that to get other people in other cities, right? Vegas, Orlando, Seattle, you name it. We want to help them grow their fan bases, because that means a healthier league. That's something that we get to keep around forever, right? And
Right.
that's what our whole purpose was.
Yeah.
So now you know the backstory. That there's no actual hatred there for St. Louis.
Yeah.
My wife is from St. Louis. I go there all the time. But I had to take a shot, man. I had to take a jab at them.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's healthy rivalries. It's such a crowd. I mean, it's not like our home, because we just got a vibe. We got a vibe, and that vibe's going to get bigger this next year. I know it is. I feel it. I think for me, it's a place actually I've never been. I've never been to St. Louis, so I think for me, it's just one of those places I haven't ever been to. But
we got this comment here. We love our XFL family, and we do.
Yes.
Unless they're from Arlington, then we don't. But that's whatever.
Y'all gonna summon Jimmy. Watch.
I was
Literally
about
what
to,
y'all do. I'm waiting.
I was
He's
about to
gonna
say,
be
where
summoned.
is he? Because I knew he was.
He would be summoning anytime soon now.
He's gonna feel those vibes, and he's gonna be here in 2
He
seconds.
just walk around. He's like, wait,
Yep.
I
His
said
ears
something.
are burning.
There's a disturbance in the force.
So I feel like as we're coming up to the halfway point of the show, obviously Brahma Bay, we want to be respectful of your time, but you are welcome to join us as a Brahma for the rest of the show if you'd like. So
Oh, I would love to.
Okay, awesome. So there's Jimmy has become notorious in the Brahma circles because he's going to come in guns blazing in his caps lock glory.
Yeah.
But
Hot spot.
yeah, so there is one really cool thing, as we kind of transition to like general league news, that I feel it's important to recognize this, and I'm wearing this jersey on purpose, right?
There you go.
Because everybody knows who wore this number, who wore this jersey. That was our spicy-legged, golden-legged beauty hair. And you're like, NFL? Yeah, because this is not Arlington blue. Before y'all think like, oh, he's wearing Arlington color. No, I'm not. All right. But
No, it's not powder blue enough to be Arlington.
no.
Dun, 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 dun.
Upgraded number 24.
I mean, how pissed would you be if you got cut like tomorrow or something?
Yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Why you saying that out loud? Don't put that in your
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Why would they be taking pictures and posting on Instagram, on social media, of our boy wearing this? And why would
Here's my crystal.
when
Go
you search on
grab an egg, Jackie.
when you search on NFLshop.com, John Parker Romo, you'll get a result.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if you go and search for the other two people who are competing for that same spot on the Detroit Lions, you won't find it. They'll be like, sorry, that doesn't exist.
I don't even know their names because
Yeah.
it don't matter.
Okay.
I know one.
The
So-
Jacksonville guy.
Riley Patterson.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw something out there. And this is going to be a little bit of jab at a rival league, but if Detroit makes the biggest mistake of their life and lets Romo walk, I 100% know that there's a job in South Oklahoma because they just tried to draft a kicker from the USFL, and there's no way he's going to be able to beat Spicy Leg. Okay, I'm sorry.
No.
So maybe we'll bring him back closer to home.
But
that
there's
guy's
also,
better than the kicker the Cowboys had last year. But give me a choice, I'd rather have Spicy Leg.
but
Period.
and not just for Cowboys fans, because trust me, wearing this jersey for me is difficult because
You're gonna have a rash later.
I am a Green Bay Packer, and I have been since I was 6 years old, and I'm wearing a Detroit
there.
Lions jersey right now, but I'm supporting my boy.
Go Pack,
I'm
go.
So
supporting
are
my
you
boy.
wearing like a Green Bay buffer shirt in between?
No, he's
I mean,
not.
I got my
Throne of
Okay,
lies.
no, that's okay. That's okay.
but
Hey,
long as it
no
doesn't
more
touch
layers,
your
bro.
chin.
Save that for the after show.
but what
I bet
one
you
of
were
the
sweating, dude. You had two jerseys and a t-shirt.
I know. I
You got like
didn't
an
need a third
undershirt on
layer.
too.
thankfully my AC is cranked up pretty low right now.
Yeah.
So but I also know that there is an opening for the kicking job in Green Bay because we let go of our silver-haired fox, Mason Crosby.
No.
Yeah, he's not in the Packers anymore. So there is an opening for a job on the Packers. I'm just saying. So there is opportunities for kickers in the NFL, but
Nope.
That's
No
rude. That's
NFL
rude,
talk.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Rude.
No NFL talk.
if the Lions are smart, they'll know they have special teams player of the year for the NFL on their roster wearing number 24. I'm just saying. So Parker, if you're out there listening, we're rooting for you, obviously. And then I also wanted to thank him and his wife. They
Yes.
mailed out some thank you notes
Aw.
to. I got one.
I
Jackie's
got
got
mine
one.
today. It made my day.
And so we wanted to say thank you to them. We love them. We wish them all the best. When they move up to Detroit, and we wish the best for their baby girl and have a happy and healthy birth of their baby girl. He's gonna be a girl dad,
Absolutely.
and I mean the
Let's
fact of the matter
go.
is that baby girl hit the lottery because I mean her daddy's about to become an overnight millionaire. Just saying.
Yep.
Just saying.
Are you just saying there?
And I'll drink to that.
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay. Cheers.
But yeah, and other things. So
What
I
about
don't
the
know.
other good news today?
Well, you tell it then, Jackie. The other good
About
news.
the combine.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Get into that.
that's awesome.
I think
Yeah.
that's supposed to, there's no official word yet, but hopefully they'll let some of us go check that out. But it's happening, I think, at the end of the month. No,
In
August 4th.
Houston, or
no, this is the one that's
Yeah.
going to be in Arlington.
Oh,
Not the showcase, the
the
combine.
XFL
the combine.
combine. Okay.
The one with the ILF, is it?
The IFL
IFL?
XFL combine is the one that's August 4th, but the XFL is having some separate combines
okay.
Yeah.
this month.
Very
Yeah, I know
cool.
they're having one in Houston. They just had one in
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Those are the showcases.
Yeah, the showcases. And then they had the ones for the HBCUs.
Mhm.
So, there's definitely a lot of opportunity. We're going to see a lot of fresh new faces next year. Obviously, a new kicker, sadly.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna miss our friend.
But and we're still going to continue to follow him, right, Jorge? I mean, you've already shown
Yeah.
your loyalty right there.
Oh, obviously.
But some of those faces coming up from the IFL, man, if they make it, there's some sharp cats in that league.
Oh yeah.
Well, the quarterback for the Massachusetts team was originally drafted by the Brahmas at the beginning of the XFL season. He was eventually let go. I forget what his name was. Reed Sinet comes up, but he was our second string quarterback. He wasn't the one that
Right.
went to. But the quarterback for the Massachusetts team in the IFL is the one that he did get drafted by the Brahma. So he does have some background with the Brahma. So he may end up coming our way if we don't get like Jack Cohn back or Reed Sinet. Kurt Bankert's living it up, streaming video games in Hawaii. So I don't think he's coming back.
What about Pat?
So
Yeah. What? Pass.
Jawan Pass, I think I would say he's coming back. Heinz Ward really seemed interested, like we've
Mhm.
mentioned in previous shows, in developing him and kind of taking him under his wing. And this season was just one of those, we have to put you in because we need to, not because we want to, given all the injuries that our team was plagued with. But yeah, no, I mean, we're gonna have some fresh new faces, the combine is gonna be a good way to see who's gonna be donning the charcoal and yellow this upcoming winter and spring.
So Anthony Russo is the guy you were thinking of.
And
Yes.
Anthony Russo. Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
yeah. I know. I remember him being one of the first ones drafted by the Brahmas, and it surprised me when they let him go. But then I saw him go to the IFL, and I know there's a partnership between the XFL and the IFL, so I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So I could see Anthony Russo coming back to the Brahmas and filling in the void, and maybe QB1 being Reed Sinnett, assuming he comes back to the Brahmas, with QB2 being Jawan Pass, unless Anthony Russo goes wild and just like shows up at camp and takes over.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, I don't know.
That's just a J thing.
Yeah.
So you
That's a J
don't have to
thing.
do that.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Now, I was just going to say what I love seeing too is these collaborations and, the showcases and all of that. What I really love seeing about the XFL this time around, and that I really didn't feel like they did, is they're staying relevant and they're constantly putting something out there that's going on in this, what we call our off season. And you don't see that a lot of times with a lot of the leagues. They hit their season, they finish their season, and then it's the off season. Yes, we're in an off season, but they're staying relevant. And I think that is going to be the key to keeping this league going, keeping it in people's minds, keeping it in perspective. Or the players, these guys that didn't make NFL, these guys that are finishing up AFL. I do want to post something to you guys and see what your thought is. And this just kind of jumped into my horns here, that are taped to my headphones, by the way, duct taped. How do you think any of the players that may find the XFL intriguing and cross over from, say, the or I know it's not the AFL, sorry, I have a hard time, NIL. So your indoor leagues, do you think that crossover is going, or that would intrigue them to come to the XFL? Do you think that's going to be hard to go from, the rules and regulations of indoor arena type ball to the XFL? Do you think that we're going to pull players from there too? What are your? I mean, I hope I'm not pulling you all away from something.
No,
No.
that's an excellent question. I think, in my opinion, or in my thoughts, these guys who are playing arena football, they grew up playing football the traditional way, whether they played
Yep.
Pee Wee, middle school, high school, college,
Right.
whatever levels they played at the amateur level, they grew up playing. I think the difference is that they're used to a much different speed in the indoor leagues, which is a lot faster paced.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's just going to be an adjustment, because while the speed is a lot faster in the arena leagues, I think the physicality in professional full style, like traditional football, is a lot more physical. It's a lot more aggressive. It's a lot more punishing on the body. And so I think that it's not so much getting used to the rules and changes, more so than it is getting their bodies used to the punishment that they're about to take.
Yeah.
When they switch from arena leagues. Not to say that arena league isn't physical or
Oh no.
anything,
No.
but
It's different.
it's just different, and when you play professional real-time football, I mean, you saw it with the Brahmas. There's big hits, bigger playing fields, which means guys have more momentum to be able to run and just go and smack the crap out of somebody. And so I just think that that's going to be where the biggest adjustment comes in, is just adjusting to the physicality from arena league to back to traditional football, but at the professional level.
I kind of agree, and I think it kind of depends too on what position they're playing. The linemen in the arena leagues, the plays are just so fast. They just have to block for a few seconds, and then That's it. In the XFL, in the other leagues, you've got to block for a whole lot longer. There's a lot more scheme to your blocking and stuff. And then, I think it's great with, the IFL now has the partnership with the XFL. The XFL kind of has the the partnership with the NFL. So it's kind of a natural progression for these players that are trying to make it to that level.
Right. Yeah. Thanks.
So my 2 cents worth on this, right? I think it's actually going to be an easier adjustment for a player to go from indoor football back into regular football than it is for a player to go from regular football into indoor football, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Great.
We've got people on the panel here that actually have some of that experience, and they can speak to that. But we know from whatever iteration of indoor football you watched or been involved with, whatever, it's all primarily high powered offenses, right? You don't have a lot of running game. You'll usually use your run option when you don't really, when it's like 4th and inches or something like that,
Right.
Or you don't have a lot of other options. But most of it is all passing plays. You've got quarterbacks that are throwing for 250, 300 yards in a game, NFL type numbers on 50 yards. You know what I mean? So the quarterbacks are going to be able to adapt back to what they know, right? Your deep balls are probably about the only thing that they're really going to struggle with, because most of them are going to be used to throwing it 30, 40 yards, right? Anything beyond that, I mean, there's very few quarterbacks that can chuck it, 60 yards like old Bert Favre did. That was a jab at him 100% because he broke my heart. I hate that guy. But the running backs are going to be.
I think I can still dig up the Facebook picture of you trying to burn it. You burn his jersey.
Dude, I totally burnt that jersey. I don't even care what you said. It just took me a couple tries.
Okay? Yeah, I think there's a Facebook picture I can go find.
And shut your face. But
a lot less gray right here.
Yes, man, stop. The adjustment for, like Brian said, the linemen, right? I mean, yeah, they're gonna have to hold for a little bit longer, but it's on both sides of the ball, right? The defensive linemen are going to have to push for longer. The offensive linemen are going to have to hold for longer. Running backs are going to have to do a little bit more work, but the receivers, the quarterbacks, like those are just natural progressions to go back to what they know. So I think it's going to be an easier transition for these guys that actually do make it from the IFL into the XFL and then hopefully onto the NFL and whatever. I think it's going to be an easier transition for them than it is for, the kids who don't get drafted into something coming out of college, having to go into, arena ball at whatever level it is, because then they're going to have to learn basically a whole new game.
Makes sense.
In the words of my guys, I agree with all of it.
We're coming out here with a technical talk, and then Jackie's like,
yeah, what they said.
Yeah.
They said it all.
I love it.
Guys.
But so another thing I wanted to talk about, and it kind of goes to like what you mentioned earlier about staying relevant. I don't know. I mean, there's been a whole lot of stuff going on this new social media platform called Threads. I don't know if anyone's been on there or has joined Threads.
I haven't yet.
I have not.
I literally thought I was talking about clothes at first. I was like,
yeah,
I know.
I'm old because I am unaware of this social media platform.
For the unaware, uninitiated, basically, Instagram came out and here he is.
Here he is, Caps Lock Jimmy.
Here he is.
All right.
His ears were burning.
So just like Jimmy to show up late to the party.
And it's perfect because this is exactly what I was going to talk about Threads. So for the unaware of what Threads is Instagram's response to Twitter. Obviously, Twitter is a giant dumpster fire, and it has been referred to as a cesspool for years now. And Instagram came out on, what's today? Friday? On Wednesday or Tuesday, they released the app. Yeah. They put it out into the world, and within 7 hours, 10 million people signed up. But here's the beauty of it, is that it is, I don't know if y'all were on or remember MySpace or Twitter in its early infancy stage, like 2007 Twitter. So
early coding days.
it's got that level of vibe because right now there's no ads on Threads.
Ooh.
There's no like
Nice.
curated like we think you'll like this kind of like it's all random stuff thrown at you. And like you can just jump in and start talking, you know. And I will say the XFL has done a very good job, or the teams themselves, I will say, have done a very good job at going in and making some noise on Threads. And so if you haven't gotten on Threads, I would, and if you have an Instagram, I would highly recommend. It's only on mobile, so you can't do it from a computer. Sorry, old timers, if you like your computer, you got to do it on your
What?
phone.
What?
Um, so,
You know what? Forget this. Forget that stupid
but
social
I'm
media
already
site shit. I'm
uninterested.
done.
but it's I'm telling you guys, it's a total vibe that you will not find anywhere else. Oh, and there's no like bots or spam yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's still new. It's still a baby.
like it's
Monday they'll
brand
be there.
new, like
Yeah.
and
Give him the
like
weekend.
I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. Right now, the Roughnecks and the Defenders are crushing it on
Oh,
that platform.
You know,
Like
Roughnecks have been they've been on their social. Let me tell you what.
Mhm.
like
Even
yeah.
today when they went live on XFL on Insta,
Yep.
Roughnecks were responding left and right to people.
Yep.
I'll
Yeah.
get, you know, and they've been, so here's a couple of threads that they've started. So the Defenders yesterday said you know that they were feeling kind of they were feeling like in the mood to fight. So they're like comment below for like if you're a hater. We want to attack the haters. And like there was people that were posting like lemon emojis, and they're like, yeah, cool, bro. We get that you like us, but we're looking for the haters. So obviously I had to jump in, you
Oh
know.
Lord.
Um, and asked them why they lost to the worst team in the league in the championship and the second worst team in the league being Orlando. And they they responded, and then the jibber jabbers back and forth. And like yesterday, the Roughnecks, for example, they posted a hey everyone, good morning everybody, say it back, and I was like nah, and I posted a picture of a roughneck getting stiff armed by one of our guys. And then
Yep.
they're like, why? I think someone's getting grumpy, and I know why. And they posted a picture of them scoring a touchdown on us in the Alamo Dome. And then they also um, uh, put a highlight reel, but the entire highlight reel is just them playing against the Brahmas in the Alamo Dome. And I responded with like, well, of course, like here's our opponents having to post pictures of the Brahmas or a video, a highlight reel with the Brahmas to make themselves feel important. And I put the little gif like, why are you so obsessed with me? And they responded to that too. Like they like the jibber jabber is still there. It's still fun. And then I made a post. I made my own thread where I was like, if you guys like fun in football, then you're gonna want to follow these pages or these accounts. I put the XFL, the Brahmas, the Defender. I basically went down the list of everyone, but there was one team that I didn't put in there because I didn't want to take a nap. You know, I want to have fun on this app. And I'm gonna give you guys one wild guess which team I told people not. You know, I conveniently forgot.
Could it
Um,
could it be the South Oklahoma dumpster fire team?
that you would be spot on in that, you know. And the cool thing is that all the the teams were like, that's what's up. Like this is no nobody like said anything or cared that the Renegades were forgotten. And I think Vegas and Orlando were just happy to be included in that thread because they were just like, I think they're just happy that people recognize them. And then
They're just happy that you don't consider them the worst teams.
and then one person was like, tag the Renegades in the comments, and they were
Oh
like,
Lord.
hey, don't let these people treat the champs this way. And I was like, listen, bro, we're trying to have a party, not take a nap. So that's why they weren't invited. And then this Renegades fan was like, all right, I'm staying out of this one, which goes to show me do the fans really care about them? No, that's why they weren't invited. So I'm just saying, I'm doing everybody a favor. I'm inviting the fun people to the party.
So in the last 5 minutes, I now have a Threads account. So
I'm telling you,
Good
it's
job.
that thing. That place is a vibe.
Oh,
It
no.
is like the Wild West of social media right now. It is so
Yeah.
awesome.
dude, that you tell me no ads, no bots. You know what? I'm here for it.
I'm telling you,
I'm totally
and
here for it.
just jump into random conversations, and you like. I found a paleta company today that like I'm friends with now. So I
Nice.
also learned that the McNay Art Museum and the San Antonio Zoo have beef with each other. SARS
Nice.
is beefing with Hemisphere Park, and I put it out there. I said, um, let's let's tell the Alamo Dome to get on Threads. Let's book a fight between the CEOs of all these organizations, and then Mayor Ron Nuremberg can be the special guest referee. I'm just saying. So that's I'm getting off my soapbox on Threads because Justin actually brought up a good point about the new Las Vegas coach.
Yeah.
And I will say one good thing about this new Vegas coach is that I think Vegas is just happy that their headset budget is going to be in the green this year, not in the red.
And you're right. I'm gonna let you finish, but I gotta bring up Elizabeth's comment.
Go ahead.
For everybody that's looking for this Threads, not like Threads hanging off your shirt, but the
Not
Threads social
clothes.
media, go to your app store, whatever iPhone thing is, whatever, and just do a search for Thread. It'll say Threads by Instagram,
Meta.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Download
Threads
that,
by Instagram.
get signed up, and have fun while it lasts, right? And as Jorge said, I mean, you can
Engage with the
people,
XFL.
right? Engage with the
Yeah.
XFL, engage
You're just
with
starting fights out there. That's
paleta
all you're doing.
companies. You could also engage with Hood Rat Drips, which is an official sponsor of the Horns Forward podcast, and make some of the most incredible stuff. We will be promoting some of their wonderful, wonderful merchandise real soon. Jackie already has some. She won't share with the rest of us, but that's okay. But go check out Threads. Start engaging with your friends and your the different XFL people while you can before it gets too crazy and then all the bots show up and all that good stuff. Yes. Put that one up too. Put Jeremy's comment up.
All right. So back to Jeremy's comment here.
Yes.
Oh,
now
yeah.
we'll go back to the Vegas comment.
Yeah. All right. So back to Justin's comment here about the new Vegas coach. So if you haven't heard, what was it? Yeah, today actually they announced it. They announced
Today.
Dr. Anthony Blevins as the new Vegas Vipers head coach. And this is definitely a good embodiment of what it means for the XFL living by their mantra of being the league of opportunities. Because Coach Blevins, as I'm going to refer to him now, he's had a lot of experience with the Giant, like in the NFL, with the Giants, with the Falcons. He also was part of XFL 1.0 with the Birmingham Thunderbolts. If you don't, if you remember them from back, in 2001, and
2001.
He's spent time in college, so he is very well familiar with the game. He's been coaching as a graduate assistant since 2005, and he's worked his way up to the NFL. And he is definitely someone who he had been trying to get like a bunch of coordinator positions. He'd been trying to get, head coaching positions. And the opportunity finally presented itself. So this is definitely his opportunity to get more game film as a coach, because coaches do have game film, to definitely make some noise and hopefully make it to the next level as a coach in the NFL. So best of luck to Coach Blevins and the Vipers. Hopefully he hopefully he does well, and people don't ask for his head because he's a first-year head coach,
Yeah.
in the same way that this year's first-year head coach was head coaches were being kind of massacred online.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a cool move for them because, again, it's not only, again, the whole story with the XFL is not a league of establishment. It's a league for everyone to get somewhere. So it's trickling down. It's not only about the players getting that opportunity. It's
Yep.
about bringing in these coaches because, you know, I had to do a little bit of research. I mean, I knew him from like the Giants, but I didn't know a whole lot. And it was like, wow, this is a name kind of out of there. That's I think Justin said, you know, he didn't know a lot about him. Also, and that's a big leap. But I think that just stems down to where the XFL is about, and it's about giving people exactly a league of opportunity, and that's not only the players. That's down to even some of the guys behind the scenes in the ticket offices and the marketing. It's getting your feet in the water and getting that experience and getting seen and establishing yourself. So I think it's a great thing for the Vipers, and Lord knows they kind of need it.
Yeah, they
Oh,
need it.
they definitely need it.
They need something.
So here's the thing that I like about this for the XFL, right? The XFL is a league of opportunities. So you just said that. But what I like about this is that we're taking an NFL assistant coach and bringing him down to the XFL to give the XFL a little bit more legitimacy, right? To show that, hey, this isn't just for the players. This is also for coaches. But this is also a league that's going to be sticking around, right? We're not dragging people from like the USFL over to fill these spots. We're getting legitimate coaches from the NFL that just haven't gotten those breaks to be able to come down to the XFL, show that they've got the chops, and then maybe make a run at the NFL in another year or two, right? Once they can show highlight film of, hey, I coached this team to X, or I did, Y with this team, right? And so that's going to give them opportunities to plug back into the NFL at the highest level where every coach wants to be. Doesn't matter if you're an offensive coordinator or the equipment manager. Like, you want to work your way up to that head coach spot, and you want that prestige, you want that pressure, you want that money, right? You want that glory. So this is that opportunity to show that the XFL's for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm excited about.
And it's definitely one of those situations where I think having a season 2 of the XFL is one of the things that helped get the attention where these guys from the NFL are willing to come down, because that's one of the biggest things that I know people griped about is like, is this gonna last? Is this gonna be here? Are we, as I've heard 1,000 times, is this another Commander situation? And we're well into operations for season 2. And it doesn't look like it's slowing down at all anytime soon. So I think having that fact that we're having a season 2 for the first time in XFL history, then we'll, that helped bring them down. And with that being said, there's another opportunity that I wanted to mention before we wrap up the show. As everyone knows, at the end of the season, Redbird Capital went into the XFL's marketing department, turned on the flamethrower, and just doused it and said, we're starting over from scratch. Well, they recently just got a new chief commercial officer named Josh Cella. And I really like this guy's experience. He comes from an e-gaming, professional gaming background. So he was before the XFL, he was Comcast Spectators Gaming Division, where he was a chief revenue officer. He was in charge of Activision Blizzard's Overwatch League and Call of Duty League. So that is obviously where a lot of the attention is now, as far as like professional sports, if you want. I mean, they're calling it professional sports now, and e-gaming is a huge on the rise. So the fact that he has it, he knows what's going on with today's marketing techniques. It's not, the days of old. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And another thing that I think is really relevant to San Antonio's market in particular is before that, he was a senior vice president of digital sales at Univision Communications, or Univision, as some of you might know it, which is a Spanish language station. So the fact that he has familiarity working in Spanish language media and e-gaming knows, it tells me that one, that's going to be really good for San Antonio if they really lean into the Hispanic market and tap into that. And two, with having that e-gaming background, he really understands what is relevant today, what people are going to want today. So I think from a marketing standpoint, what we were lacking last year, I have a really good feeling that Josh Cella is going to be a big spear point as far as leading the charge for turning that marketing machine around and really putting a rocket on its back. And we're going to see a different marketing approach this next year for the XFL and the Brahmas as a whole.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's good. They need it. They need it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I know as we're at the hour, so we'll end it like we always do with a couple of announcements from our favorite Brahmasita. So Jackie, take it away.
Um, I will keep talking about it. August 5th, we have our community event coming up, our back to school supply drive. Just updated. I did put it in our event, but the point where we're having the event at, they are graciously going to buy a keg of our favorite Brahma's beer, the Golden Ale. She is going to put it on sale for $4.50 a pint, and the best part is she will be donating some of the proceeds from the profit back to St. PJ's. So it's still going for a good cause, and you get to
Yay.
have your favorite beer on tap. So $4.50 a pint, and they're going to donate proceeds to the organization as well. So whoop whoop.
So
Yeah, excellent.
schedule your Uber rides now because
Yep.
we're
So
gonna
we
be drinking a
tapping that
lot.
keg out. Yeah, we popping
Whose
it.
house am I staying at?
We'll just throw you in the back with the supplies and wheel you to my house.
Truth.
Yay.
Let's go.
But more details will continue to unfold as we get closer. But we're super excited to see everybody because we miss everyone. So
Yeah.
baby
Yes.
tailgate, we can't wait to see everyone.
Yeah. And obviously, as that's going to be probably our first event of the off season. But as the year progresses, like we've been mentioning, we do want to do NFL watch parties. We'll have the Cowboys for all of you Cowboys fans, Texans games for all you Texans fans, Duval County fans,
Texans have fans?
whatever. But our primary focus for these watch parties are going to be the teams where our guys, particularly this gentleman right here, will be playing. So I may be sitting through a couple of Detroit Lions games willingly this year, which I've never in my life done or said that I would ever do. But he's not the only one. If there is another Brahmas player that makes it to another team, if the Broncos recall or call back Jacquez Patrick and realize the mistake that they made and letting him go, then we'll put on some Broncos games. So there, that is something that
He's an Eagles fan.
we'll make sure we have a venue that has multiple TVs that can have multiple different games going on at the same time, so that we can make it work and just have a good time and watch football together, and basically just sit and wait for the Super Bowl to be over so that we can get back to business and
Thank you,
do our
Kenneth.
thing.
Thank you.
Dude,
Absolutely.
shout out to Jeremy, man.
Eagle.
He's bringing the
He's an
heat.
Eagles
Let's
fan.
go.
He
Right.
doesn't count.
Don't shout that out.
He's
Don't
an
shout
Eagles
that
fan.
out.
He does not count. He is the waste management. What do you mean?
Oh, is Jeremy's an Eagles fan?
Unfortunately.
Oh, well, I love Dougie P. Thank you.
Ooh.
Bravo, babe.
I mean, I'll just say, Doug Peterson was always riding the pine at in Green Bay when he played, and so the best thing that I know about him is that he was Brett Favre's favorite golfing buddy.
Best
About
backup quarterback ever, man.
No, that would go to Matt Flynn, I would think.
Yeah. Well, Flynn was a partier too, so yeah.
But yeah, so everybody, we are at the end of the show. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody at the event at the Point Park is what it's called. So it's over going towards Bernie. And even though it's going to be in August, as I said last week, Jackie and I went and checked it out, and we had dinner and drinks there when it was 105 degrees outside, and we were perfectly fine. It's well shaded. There's fans, misters. There's, it's
Cold beer.
It's cold beer.
Whole beer. That's all you need.
So there will be plenty of shade and ways to cool down and not melt in the middle of August. So don't let that discourage you from coming out. And we hope to see everybody there.
Make sure you bring your school supplies, your donations. Bring yourselves, bring your neighbors, bring your Thea, your Theo, whoever. Come on out, represent.
And the food trucks there are pretty fire, I will say.
Yeah, they are dope.
The food trucks there are legit. So with that being said, we're gonna hop on over to YouTube for the after party. The Only Horns, what do we call it? Only Horns, horny.
Horns after dark.
Horns after dark.
Horny after dark is what we call it. There we go. Yeah. So
this is still a family-friendly show here, y'all.
No, I'm just saying the name
Turn
of
over to the other channel
of our show. So
come join us on the other channel.
It's gonna be on the Viva Texas YouTube channel because we stream it there because obviously, with it being my channel, there are no rules there.
I do what I want.
So I do what I want, y'all.
I do what I want.
So if y'all want to join on the fun, come on over because it's gonna be a heck of a show. Kenneth, you should be disturbed, and I encourage you to come and join because that place is a vibe. But for now, we're going to end this show like we always do. Horns forward, baby.
Horns forward, let's go.
And we'll hopefully see you on